Hey guys, it's 420 Somewhere, and today we've got some very big law enforcement stories. So the first, which is basically international news right now, huge story, is the Brittney Griner case came down. The judges in Russia gave her 9 years behind bars in the country of Russia for bringing in vape cartridges to the country when she traveled there for a basketball tournament. That is a huge, huge amount of time for staying there and behind bars in Russia, in a place that she's not from. It's basically an affront to the US. She's clearly now transcending the typical punishment for marijuana and now is being used as a pawn for politics. And this is where this entire issue gets a little bit tricky, because this issue has now gone beyond whether or not it's okay that the US has legal or illegal marijuana. It's beyond whether or not even Russia has legal or illegal marijuana. They used that as a starting point and then saw this opportunity they have. They became very opportunistic once they saw that she had these vape cartridges. And now, since Russia and the US have not been in worse relations in decades, they're clearly using her, and it's working. So I've seen in some places marijuana advocates trying to push for legalization because of this, saying that it's the US's fault for this all happening. I think that's silly. I think that's dumb. I think even they're kind of being opportunistic themselves by trying to push for any kind of extra legalization because of Brittney Griner being captured in Russia. Her situation now is beyond all of this, and we have to think in terms of like trading captives, which is crazy to think about. So the US has already tried to give Russia 2 convicts of their own in exchange for Brittney Griner coming back home. They rejected the deal, and now basically it's just going to be this kind of chess game between the US and Russia until she gets home, and Russia is going to make sure that it's a pretty hefty deal for them because they know that this is becoming a bigger and bigger story in the US. So they have all of the leverage power here. It's beyond marijuana, even though it's marijuana adjacent, and we'll see what happens here. It's kind of becoming a big problem, and it could continue to swell, especially now that she's behind bars for 9 years. That's crazy. And the US basically won't stand for her serving that sentence. So there's a lot behind that one. I guess we'll keep paying close attention, but at this point, it's beyond marijuana. But what is not beyond marijuana are some farms in California that have been kind of working under the shadows of being cannabis farms and hoping for more lax rules in California for cannabis farms, even for illicit cannabis farms. But these specific ones are run by cartels in Mexico, cartels in Armenia, cartels in China. There are a lot of these places, and this is a huge problem for a number of reasons. One reason is that all of this marijuana is not going to the US, it's getting exported to either Mexico, China, and B, there's a pretty bad drought happening in California, and marijuana plants are infamously not good with water. They need lots of water, and these illicit farms, even if it's just American illicit farms, still are taking a lot of the water from the area and not allowing regulated farms to get the access that they need. There's been this big crackdown on these farms, and it's a dangerous business, especially for people who are trying to spot some and then tell the DEA or whoever needs to know about it to tell them about it, because they are on high alert. These cartels know that if they're ratted out, they will be getting raided. So when they see somebody coming close to their farm, they're going to react violently, and some people have been shot at, some people have been killed. It's been kind of an intense atmosphere in the Central Valley of California because of this, and hopefully most of them get eradicated because it's just so dangerous, and it's just so wasteful with our water and all of these things. And it seems like it is happening. So last year, 2021, there were about 750 of these illegal groves. As of this year, around the same time, 400 of those have been found and raided. So now they're at 350. So it is quickly getting fixed. I assume that these illegal groves won't just be like, we got screwed, we're gonna go home, damn, they're going to find somewhere else to grow. So it is kind of going to become one of those problems that we have to deal with, especially as more and more states become legal. It's not just going to be in California where this problem exists. It's going to be in every single state. So that's another thing that's bad news there, I guess. So yeah, some bummer news today. Those two stories, I don't have any fix for. I don't think there is a fix for it. I think it's just another ripple effect of something brand new coming out of the well, and we have to figure out how to deal with it in the coming years. And hopefully we continue to keep the pressure on the US to find a deal for Brittney Griner, because that situation is dire. So that's all we have this week. We'll be back next week with some more stories, hopefully some good ones. I'll see you then.